Hey everyone, my name is Asia, and today I'm going to spend some time answering your most pressing college admissions questions. Whether you're a senior who's currently applying to college or a freshman who just wants to stay on track, this video series will help you get a better understanding of different admissions topics. If you'd like to submit a question for us to answer, go ahead and drop it in the comments section below. And remember, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Now let's get started. So our first question for the day, submitted by Glenn, asks, what are the requirements for college applications? Now, I think this is a good question to get started with because a lot of the time we spend so much time focusing on getting good SAT scores or good grades, doing extracurriculars, building strong relationships with our teachers. We don't always think about the detail that goes into what college applications require. So the majority of colleges use the Common Application, and many of you have probably heard of that by now. But if you haven't, this is one central place that houses all of the different components for college applications. And the majority of schools use the Common Application to keep track of everything that students are submitting. So within the Common Application, students will have to submit the following: your high school grades and current courses, your extracurricular activities, any academic awards or honors, your SAT, SAT2, or ACT scores, but keep in mind that there are some test optional schools, so if you are applying to those, you may not need to submit your test scores. You'll also need to submit your parent or legal guardian information, any recommendations from teachers, and last of all, essays. So when it comes to essays, there is the Common App essay, which is submitted to all the schools, and you can find those prompts within the Common App. We also have a blog post on CollegeVine's blog about how to go and write each of those prompts, so I highly recommend you check that out. And then for some schools, there may be additional supplemental essays, and you can find those in the Common App itself or on the school's individual websites. And just to make sure that you're checking off all the boxes and that you are submitting the proper supplemental essays, I'd recommend going to the school's website itself and checking. And now if you're applying for financial aid, there are separate requirements found in the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. And these requirements can be accessed at studentaid.ed.gov. So visit the video description below to read our Common App blog post about all of the different prompts and how to write them. And there's also a link to our supplemental essay database, which houses all of the different supplemental essays at different schools, so you can access them all in one place. So our next question, asked by Jayoon, asks, is class rank important to college admission? Good question. So when it comes to class rank, it does matter in college admissions because it gives admissions officers a sense for how you compare academically to other students in your high school. And what we mean by this is that because grading varies so differently from high school to high school, class rank helps give admissions officers a better understanding of how you're performing compared to other students. So for example, coursework that earns an A in a certain class at one school might only earn a B at another school right down the street. Or certain schools may have teachers who grade more harshly and try to better prepare students for AP exams. So this is where a student's class rank helps admissions officers standardize a student's performance. So if you do rank highly in your class, you don't have to worry much about your academic profile, but if you have a GPA from easy classes, your class rank will kind of expose the secret to your success and leave a poor impression on admissions officers. So I hope, Jayoon, that helped answer your question and give a summary of why class rank is important. So the next question, submitted by Sai, is a two-part question. The first question asks, how do I attain leadership positions in the extracurricular activities that I participate in, and how do I really stand out? So many of you may be wondering about this kind of question, and leadership roles are really important in college admissions because they show admissions officers that you're dedicated and committed to your passions. So in order to attain a leadership position, there are 3 key steps. The first step is to show up. If you want to be successful in an extracurricular, you need to show commitment. So if you want to achieve a leadership role, you need to make that activity a priority and really make it matter as much as academics or your social life, for example. The second step is to take initiative. And so don't just show up to the activity, go above and beyond to organize meetings or take on different projects. You want to show the current students in leadership positions that you're an active member and you're passionate about the extracurricular. And taking initiative just really shows that you care and that you're dedicated to the activity that you're involved in. So finally, you want to spend some time networking. So get to know others in the club or activity you're involved in, introduce yourself to those in the current leadership positions. This shows that you're really interested in being a leader and that you have the social skills and dedication to do so and fill those leadership shoes. So part 2 of this question asks, how do I find a passion if I don't have one as an incoming freshman? So first of all, as an incoming freshman, just knowing you need to find that passion and leadership position is a really good first step, so props to you for knowing that. Because you're a freshman, it's a good opportunity to try different things. So, do you have an academic interest that has a corresponding club at your high school? Is there a musical instrument you've always wanted to try, or a sports team you've always been interested in? So, by joining different clubs, trying new sports, and immersing yourself in a variety of different activities, you're more likely to find what you're interested in and then find your passion from there. So, Sai, I hope that efficiently answered both of your questions. All right, for our 4th question, Thea asks, what is the likelihood of getting accepted to an Ivy League college without connections to any alumni? So first off, I want to make it clear that just being a legacy on its own is not enough to get you into an Ivy League school. At some schools, especially smaller private ones that rely heavily on endowment or alumni donations, being a legacy can definitely give your application a boost, but it's not guaranteed to get you in. If you don't have any alumni connections at an Ivy League school, don't worry about it. First and foremost, Ivy Leagues want to see that you're a dedicated student with strong academics, test scores, and exceptional leadership positions and extracurricular activities. That's really what they're focused on. For more information on how to prepare for applying to the Ivy League schools, what they're interested in, how to make your application stand out, go ahead and watch our Ivy League webinar, which is linked in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. So our last question for today's Q&A is submitted by Violet. And Violet asks, what factors should you consider when choosing a college? So when it comes to building your school list or deciding on what college you should attend, we recommend thinking about fit factors. And there are 5 fit factors that we at CollegeVine like to encourage people to consider. These fit factors are 1, academic experience, so this includes majors, rigor, class size, anything academically related to the school. The second is campus opportunities. So are there sports? What's the social scene like? Are there a lot of internships available or people to help you find internships? What's the Greek life like if you're interested in that? Are there student groups? Does the school offer study abroad? These are all important campus opportunities to consider. The third is location and environment. So what's the housing like? Are you required to live all 4 years on campus? Can you live off campus your junior or senior year? What's the setting? Is it urban or is it rural? That's a pretty big factor to consider when making your decision. What's the distance from home like? A lot of students would feel more comfortable living close to home or going far away. Personally, I went far away. I was a 3-hour plane ride from where I lived. So for me, that was something I wanted to explore at that time, but not all students want to be that far from home. So that's something you should definitely consider. Is it a diverse school? Is it co-ed or female only? Those are other important considerations. Another fit factor is financial consideration. So is there a percent financial need met? Is the school need blind, no loan? Finances are pretty important to think about, and that should definitely be something to consider when making your decision. And the last fit factor is post-college outcomes. So, what's the average salary of grads? Is there any career or grad school support? So these are all important things to think about when building a school list or choosing a college. At the end of the day, remember, you're the one going to college. It's not your parents. It's not your school counselor. So you're the one who really needs to take these factors into consideration and think about what out of all these will make you the happiest and where you'll be the most successful and really thrive during your 4 years of college. So while we couldn't get to all of the questions today, I hope that this answered some general questions that a lot of students ask about, and we've received so many of these similar questions, so I really tried to pick those that apply to a lot of you. If you want to submit a question for our next video, go ahead and ask it in the comment section below, and remember to visit the description of the video for all of the different CollegeVine resources that I mentioned before. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks for our next Q&A.